Chaim Yitzchak Michael Halevi Kopel Harry Gershites, minus a few that aren't legal anymore. Today, we are going to talk about time traveling and how we can utilize the concept of Einstein's light cones by using these two happy fellas here. All right, so imagine this orange-haired pen is the spatial axis, right? The one spatial dimension, right? In this direction. So this is what we're going to reference as the back reference, forward reference, or front reference, going forward, right? So we're starting here, going there, and you can, no matter what the time is, you can go back and forth freely. You have one dimension that you can travel, this way or this way, right? Now, with time, being that it's only forward, right? It's that trigonometric relationship between space and time. I probably said that incorrectly, but please forgive me. That relationship, right, is what causes the animation of space-time, right? Because if you look at the trigonometric, okay, you guys know what I mean. If you look at that relationship, when you are looking at the direction, right, the relationship between the two axes is 1/2 to 1, right? So when you are going here, when you're here, this point is up here. Then when you get here, that point is now here. And then when you go back here, right, the point that's over here, this line's point is now over here, right? And then when this line is over here, this goes back here, right? But you saw the first connection. This dot goes only up to here. It's not able to continue to go. Its next direction from the boundary is this direction, right? So anyways, when you look at the light cone, right? If you have the light cone like this direction, when you get to the very end of the light cone, that means you've reached the front, right? Now, imagine, so the light cone, the very boundary, the edge, before you reach the spatial region, is the structural speed limit of the universe. And the only thing that can travel at the limit of the structural speed limit of the universe are massless particles such as photons, right? Now imagine you were, let's just say now, let's use this instead of saying the boundary of the light cone, we're going to call this the world line, right? Let's say the world line were to reach closer to the timeline. That means you would not be moving at all. Your time is 0, right? Let's say you go to the very boundary between the region of the light cone and the space area. You are now, if you are at the edge there, meaning you are at the structural speed limit of the universe, which we can't do. There's many reasons. I'm not going to go into it right now. But let's just say, hypothetically, we were able to go past that boundary and go faster than the speed of light. We would be approaching infinity. So let's say we were now parallel to the spatial line. That means to get from the back to the front would take 0 time at all. It would take no time. Literally, there's no time component. So if you're consciously wanting to get there, you would get there in 0 time. Now imagine if you're going this direction, what is going to happen? So being that this is the past, right? You're still you're still going to travel forward in space, but you and everything will be going backwards in time. Now, let's say this is the direction now. Still going back in time, but now you're also walking backwards in space. right? So these two regions here is where you can travel back in time. This one you can travel back in time and space. This one you can just travel back in time. And that, my friends, is how, if we were to find the method to the means to travel back in time, that would be the concept of how we would do it. We would have to manipulate the physical laws of the universe, the structural limit. We would have to be able to manipulate the actual limit, like the whole structure of the universe or universe itself would have to be manipulated in such a way that we change the speed of light. But then the question is, we would have to protect ourselves with some sort of bubble that prevents us from changing our relationship to the speed of light. So in that bubble, there still has the original structural speed limit, right? In that bubble, hypothetically, we still have that structure, the original structural speed limit. So we would still be going at the original speed of light, but now in the rest of the universe, where we are controlling the baseline of the structure, right? Then the structural speed limit, let's say we were to bring it half of what it is. Well, since we're going double of what it is inside this bubble, if we were able to find a way to then say, okay, well, we're moving at this structural speed limit within our own little universe, and we are crossing a boundary. We're going to cross a boundary because now we can do so because our rules don't apply to this external universe. We are in our own little universe. We are essentially, our rules do not follow the external rules. So in this bubble, being that we travel double the structural speed limit outside, all right, now the light or the all of the objects outside of the bubble, which are in reference to a different set of structural speed limits, or a different set of a different structural speed limit, right? They're governed by it. Now they're trying to catch up with us, right? So, but because we're going double, they can never catch up to us, right? We're a constant. They also have their own constant, but their constant is half of our constant. So they will never catch up to us, and we will continue to go into the past until we press the button that allows us to integrate back into the external structure. Now, our boundary is now interfacing with the external laws of that universe, of the universe that was outside of the bubble. Now, so let's say we travel back to the past to, let's say, the dinosaurs. Let's just say hypothetically, because, conditions back then probably were not conducive for us. But let's just say hypothetically, we were to go back there, right? Well, now we have effectively traveled back in time. We have used the concept of the light cone to be able then to apply it to a hypothetical situation that we engineered to travel back in time. And that, my friends, eventually we'll be able to connect the dots in between the idea, the concept of the light cone, and the actual engineering of being able to manipulate space and time. And hopefully by then, we would have worked all of our other stuff out so we can then focus on how to not destroy the universe and just be able to be gods over it. For lack of better words, I'm sure there's a better way to put it. But anyways, hopefully you get the drift. Excuse my French. With that said, peace.